Hello everyone, how are you? Today we are going to revise Unit 2 from the 10th grade class, Old versus Young, the Generation Gap. After reading the word and after reading the text, read please the word and the vocabulary's meanings. Then we come to the comprehension questions. I think we have already discussed the comprehension questions. Okay, now we're going to come to fill in the blank with a suitable word after reading the text. Let's see, we have undercover, hug, individuality, animosity, foray, embarrassment, perspective, frankly, fraud, and uniformity. We have already discussed the meaning of these words. Let's see. When we come to reading these sentences, we have to choose the correct word to fill in these blanks. Let's start with number 1. Blank speaking, this chocolate cake tastes nice, but it's not too sweet. It's not sweet enough for me. Let's say that the word that is correct is frankly. Frankly speaking. Frankly speaking, remember this. Number 2, the roommates argued a lot, but they didn't have any towards each other, any animosity. Any animosity. Yes. Number 3, the policeman went to catch the thieves. The word that suits this blank is undercover. Undercover. People should be free to show their لازم يكونوا أحرار في حتى يظهروا individualities. Their individuality. استقلاليتهم. Number 5, in schools reduces bullying since all students will look identical. Okay, what is the word that mean something that reduces bullying? It is uniformity. Yes, very good. Uniformity. Uniformity in schools توحيد الزي أو التوحيد بشكل عام في المدارس يقلل نسبة التنمر. Don't, whenever you see don't, we have to use verb. Don't hug. Don't hug. Okay, the game. Everyone has to play. لا تحتكر اللعبة. The teacher encourages the students not to feel what? Embarrassment. Yes, embarrassment. لا يشعروا بالإحراج. Is a short journey to find a particular new places. This is a meaning. This is the definition of the word foray. A foray is a short journey to find a particular new places. The goal is attractive, even though with tension. يعني هو مشحون بالمشاعر أو بالتوتر اللي هي the word fraught. Yes, thank you. When he spoke about the issue, when he spoke his what about the issue surprised her, his perspective. وجهة نظره. His perspective or his point of view. This is very important exercise. Now, let's move to the grammar. The first grammar is modal auxiliary verbs and related verbs. Modal auxiliaries give more information about the main verb. They come before the main verb. So, modal verb modal verb plus the infinitive form of the main verb. يعني المودل بيجي وراه مجرد. These modals are can, could, may and might, must, shall, should, will and would. The function of everyone, of each one. Function can gives me ability. Could gives me possibility. Might, weak, possibility. Must is an obligation, is for obligation. Shall is for suggestion. Should gives me advice. Will, talking about the future, and would sometimes give me an offer, explains offer. Examples for these: you can speak English fluently. You can speak, so you have the ability. Diving could be dangerous if you aren't trained well. So could is a possible thing, is for possibility. Make sure to water the plants or they might die. قد يموتون, weak possibility. The flight from Amman to the USA takes a long time. The passenger must be tired. الرحلة قد تكون الرحلة طويلة جدا، إذن المسافر أكيد تعبان. I feel bored. I feel bored. Shall we go to the park? Shall we go? This is a suggestion. If you have a small child in the house, you shouldn't leave any object lying around. So shouldn't, this is an advice. My brother will travel to Paris when he gets the visa. So in the future, he will travel. Would you please help me? I feel tired. Would you please? This is an offer or request. Now let's come to the related verbs related to the modals, of course. These are be able to, be bound to, be supposed to, be allowed to, be required. طبعا ال be here is or am, was or were. It depends on the time or the tense of the verb. The function of each one. Be able to means ability or can. Be bound to means future or will. Be supposed to giving advice or recommendation، يعني ممكن تعطيني نصيحة أو ممكن تعطيني توصية. Be allowed to permission may. Be required to obligation must or have to. Examples: Mary was supposed to be here by now. This is a recommendation. You are supposed to study harder for the exam. This is an advice. The car is bound to stop soon. The petrol is about to finish. Future. Will. Last night we were locked out, but we were able to get into the house through the window. Through the window. We were able to, يعني we could. You aren't allowed to use the calculator in the test. You aren't allowed. غير مسموح لك. This is a permission. The students are required to wear the uniform in the school. This is an obligation. يعني must. Now, let's take a very quick question. Rewrite the following sentences by replacing the modal with a verb from the related to modals verb. We can't use the dictionaries in the exam. Can't means ability, so we can use we aren't what. Let's move here. الability شو بتعطيني اللي هي what. Able. Yes, we aren't able to. Able to use the dictionaries in the exam. He must turn off his phone during the meeting. Must means what? Obligation, يعني required. He must turn off his phone during the meeting. He is required to turn off his phone during the meeting. I won't give you my sandwich. won't هي ال will not يعني بتعطيني future. إيش يعني مكانها ال future اللي هي bound. Yes, very good. I am في عندي هون not إذا بستخدم not. I am not bound to give you my sandwich. People who are angry or upset shouldn't drive cars. مش احنا حكينا shouldn't لل giving advice. What gives me advice? Supposed to. People who are angry, people who are angry or upset shouldn't نحكي are not supposed to drive cars. Yes, you have to be nice to your little brother. Have to حكينا اللي هي obligation إذن مكانها must يعني required. You are required to be nice. Okay. Now let's move to the reported speech. Reported speech is actually the actual speech or thoughts are not quoted directly. The quotation marks are deleted. There is no special punctuation. The tense is usually changed. Let's try to know more about the present simple. The main verb is changed into past simple tense. يعني بال present simple when we have to report the simple present or the present simple we change it from verb 1 to verb 2. يعني from the simple present to the simple past. Affirmative form examples I live in Amman نحكي he said that he lived in Amman. She is a doctor. This is a verb to be. بنحكي he said that she was a doctor. Negative form she doesn't need any help in her studying. لاحظوا إنه هنا في عنا doesn't need بنحولها إلى he said that she didn't need any help in her studying. They aren't students in تقارب. He said that they weren't students in تقارب. Let's move to the past simple. Past simple tense must be changed into the past perfect tense اللي هو had plus verb 3. The main the affirmative form examples for the affirmative form he went to Paris last week. Went شو بدها تصير؟ She said that he had gone. شايفين went بدها تصير had gone. Remember that as we took previously last must be changed يعني بتصير she said that he had gone to Paris the week before or the previous week. Negative form I didn't study well for the exam. I didn't study. Notice here didn't شو بدها تصير؟ بدها تصير hadn't. He said that he hadn't studied. يعني أنا مش بس حولت didn't كمان had بيجي وراها verb 3 hadn't studied well for the exam. Let's move to the present continuous. Present continuous أنا بعرفه هو is أو are أو am plus verb ing. بده يصير بده يتحول إلى was and were plus verb ing. In this case we change the verb to be into the past form. It is to was, it are to were, it am to was, isn't wasn't, it aren't weren't, am not wasn't. For examples, she is traveling to Egypt tomorrow. Tomorrow, remember we have to change tomorrow and the is. He said that she was traveling to Egypt the next day. The next day. You are leaving this party early. She said that you were leaving the party early. You said you were leaving. I am having dinner now. Remember to change am and now. He said that he wasn't having dinner then. So الآن صارت wasn't. Sorry, was having dinner now. The past continuous was and were plus verb ing changed into had been plus verb ing. Was were plus becomes had been. Wasn't or weren't hadn't been. Let's read these examples. While you were eating they came. نطلع في عنا there is were eating and there is simple past also. So we have to be careful or to notice whenever there is a verb. He said that while you had been eating, had been eaten, had been eating, sorry, eating, they had come. So were eating is changed and the came becomes had come. They left while she was watching TV. كمان في عنا they left and was watching. He said that they had left becomes had left while she had been watching TV. Okay? Present perfect. The present perfect بنعرفه has plus have plus verb 3. Has or have plus verb 3. Has for the singular, have for the plural becomes had plus verb 3. I have studied English for 10 years. He said that he had studied. Have studied becomes had studied. He has had his pet since he was a kid. He becomes he said that. He had had. Has had becomes he had his pet since he was a kid. طب الواز ليش ما غيرناها؟ It has to be changed. It becomes had been. Okay? Negative form. Haven't or hasn't with past participle becomes hadn't plus past participle. He hasn't finished his homework yet. When we report this sentence, it becomes he said that he hadn't finished. Hasn't finished becomes hadn't finished his homework yet. PS ملاحظة. If the reported sentence contains an expressions of time, إذا كان في عنا بالجملة expressions of time, you have to change it to fit in with the time of reporting. This becomes that, these become those, now becomes then, yesterday becomes the previous day or the day before, tomorrow becomes the next day, ago becomes before, last becomes the previous, and here becomes there. Now let's report these following sentences with each other. I used my calculator in the maths test yesterday. He said that I becomes according to he used become had used my calculator in the maths test yesterday becomes the day before. Okay? They are always making noise. The teacher said that they doesn't change. They are becomes were, always making noise. Mom will clean the house tomorrow. في عنا will وفي عنا tomorrow. طبعا احنا will يمكن ما شرحناها لكن will تصبح would. Dad said that mom, or we can say she, will becomes would clean the house. Tomorrow becomes the next day. While he was driving to his job, he made an accident. في عنا was driving, في عنا he made. He said that while he was driving, had been driving to his job, he made an accident. He had made an accident. We go to school every day. We go to school every day. They said that. الوي مثلها مثل الآي must be changed. They go شو بتصير؟ go went they to school every day. Mr. John has two little pets. What is the verb? has. She said that. يا إما بتحكوا Mr. Jones يا إما بتحكي he. has بتصير had. Two little pets. I didn't watch the whole movie last night. Actually, I fell asleep. في عنا didn't watch وفي lost وفي عنا fell asleep. She said that. I becomes she according to the subject of the reporter. I didn't watch بتصير hadn't watch the whole movie last night, the night before, or the previous night. Actually, I, or must be changed. She had fallen asleep. Okay? Don't go before completing the task. Don't is an imperative verb. فعل أمر. Imperative verb. There is a special way to deal with this kind of sentences. The teacher asks the student, whenever we see an imperative verb, we have to put to and the infinitive verb. لكن في عندي أنا not، إذن بدي أستخدم not then to go before completing the task. I can see the street from here. Can is a modal verb. Can becomes could. He said that. I must be changed. He could see the street from here becomes there. هناك. The last one, he thought he could do it. He thought he could do it. لاحظوا هنا في معلومة كتير مهمة. She said that. He thought becomes had. Thought. had plus verb 3. he تنزل. الكود احنا حكينا الويل بتصير كود، الويل بتصير would، الكان بتصير could، have to بتصير had to أو has to بتصير had to، والmust بتصير had to. لكن لما يجي في عنا بالجملة simple past or past tense from will وكان وmust و have to أو may كمان، يعني مثلا could أو should أو would أو had to أو might بتضلها كما هي لا تتغير. إذا الكود هنا لا تتغير. He thought he could do it. Okay? this is the end of the reported speech. Now let's move to the determiners. Some or any. They are both indefinite determiners that we use when we aren't interested in exactly how many of the noun we are speaking about. We use some for positive statements. They have some shoes. There are some good shops. There is some sugar. لاحظوا في عندي sugar اللي هي uncountable nouns. إذا بتلاحظوا إنه السم إجت بتعد الجمع أو بتعد الغير المعدود ال uncountable أو مع ال plural. We use any for any questions and negative statements. We don't have any pens. There isn't any sugar. There isn't any sugar. يعني مع ال plural countables أو مع ال uncountable بالنيجاتيف وبالquestions. We can use the articles and an with the singular nouns. We use some, any with plural nouns and uncountable nouns. Let's move here. Some, any, a, or an. We have to complete the following sentences by using the words below. Are there what? Biscuits. هلأ في عنا هون سؤال. إذا أول شيء بخطر على بالي هو الأني. لكن أنا قبل ما أطلع على هذا الإشي لازم أشوف هل هذا countable, uncountable ولا plural ولا singular. إذا هذا plural إذا أنا بقدر أستخدم الأني. There is chocolate, uncountable. وهاي affirmative, so we use some. Is there هلا طلعوا عليه. Question and singular. ما بقدر أستخدم لا some ولا any. بس بستخدم أو an. Is there a pen in your pencil case? They don't have turtles. Plural. إذا بقدر أستخدم some أو any. They don't في عنا. They don't have any turtles. There is boy. Boy is a singular, so a or an. I have new haircut. New haircut. على فكرة a new haircut اللي هي قصة شعر جديدة. إذن هاي singular بحط لها a new haircut. We write postcard singular a postcard and put it in envelope singular. بقدرش استخدم لها لا some ولا any وبتبلش عندي ب vowel. إذا بستخدم an. There wasn't paper. Paper is a singular. This is a special way to learn how to cook. Way is a singular. I put pieces of wood in the fire. جمع. إذن some. Okay. Now خليني نيجي للpossessive adjectives اللي هي my وyour وhis, her, their, our, its. احنا متعودين نحكي عنهم possessive pronouns. In this lesson we have to rename them by using the possessive adjectives. صفات الملكية. وفي كلياتنا بنعرفهم. وفي عنا the demonstrative determiners are this for singular nouns, for near singular nouns, that for far singular nouns, these for plural, near plural nouns, those for far plural nouns. With this, we come to the end of our revision. Thank you for being with us. See you soon, inshallah, and good luck.